I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. The 9th of May is coming, or May 9th is coming. Dating this video or this clip, tomorrow will be Cinco de Mayo. That's Latin for the 5th of May. But the 9th of May is coming, allegedly to be the day that World War II ended, and that somehow or another Russia or Russians have declared through either their process that that it's a victory day for them. And looking at what's happening now in Ukraine, and they're trying to bomb those people in Mariupol out of that steel factory where they're in. They've been dropping every kind of bomb that they can drop, but those people refuse to give up. And some 200 civilians and children, along with several soldiers and infantrymen that are held out in that steel mill. That's been going on now for several weeks. But I want to ask a question. All the reports that we are hearing, if you've been watching, it depends on what channel you watch, and I try to watch most of them, that Russia is being defeated. That their campaign in the West, when they came out of Belarus to Kiev, that they got their butts kicked. That 40-mile caravan of tanks and armored personnel carriers and a whole bunch of other things on that one road all lined up like a long snake, that they weren't able to take Kiev. And so they retreated back into Belarus, then went back around the crown of Ukraine and came in on the east side over near Mariupol and Kharkiv. And you know the reports, if you watch the liberal media, now you watch people on the left, they're pretty much saying that the Ukrainians are beating the Russians. They got defeated. That 7 of their generals have been killed so far. Thousands of their soldiers have been killed. Their tanks and munitions have been destroyed by the Ukraine. But the thing I find fascinating about this, and I'm just asking the question, I'm not giving an answer to anything right now, is that I see they got footage of the Russian tanks and armored personnel carriers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They got footage of Russian dead soldiers, or at least 1 or 2 I've seen. But I've never seen any footage of the Ukrainian army. Maybe I've seen 1 or 2 tanks, but not much. So one of the strategies I believe now, and of course I don't trust the liberal media, I don't trust the left media. Do you trust them? I don't trust them as far as I can throw a pink elephant. But I mean, I'm just doing some evaluation here now, because they're saying, the way they're reporting is that Putin has lost most of his conscripts and thousands of soldiers. I don't believe them. I guess you figured that out by now. That Putin is getting beaten by the Ukrainians. You know, and that he got beaten, kicked out of Kiev, couldn't take Kiev. You know, my theory is this, is that why bomb Kiev the way you're bombing Mariupol or some of the other cities, you know, and then, because you eventually you want to go in and set up a government. You know, on all the government buildings, the infrastructure, the trains, all that stuff, you want to reserve that. So you might say, well, all right, you know, we're not going to take you just yet. We'll take Mariupol. We'll make that an example for you in some of the other cities. But we need to keep. My thinking would be, as a general, but my thinking would be, don't bomb Kiev. Well, come on back around, come in the back door. But if you listen to the left, and listen to the left media, CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, all that crowd. They're saying the Ukrainians are beating the mighty nation of Russia. Maybe they have. I don't know. I'm not saying they didn't. You listen to the right, you listen to Fox News and all that crowd. They're saying that Russia has a right, and what he's saying about the, liberating Ukraine from the Nazis and et cetera is also true. So it's a mess out here, depending on what you're watching, and your mind to get infiltrated by all of that. But the other thing I think is important are the reports of the Russian genocide. True. Here's my observation. I watched when this war first got started. Was it February 24th, something like that? And all these young, wealthy-looking Ukrainians from Kiev, from Kharkiv, from Mariupol, all of them getting on train, and they were all well dressed. I mean, I saw women with great big mink hats on. I mean, it looked like a hoodie, right? But it was a great big mink hat. Looked like some of these, minks from over there and around the Volga River somewhere. And they were well dressed. They all looked well healthy and kept and everything. And there were literally tens of thousands of them leaving, headed for Poland and Hungary. This the first couple of weeks, right? They were all pretty much young and had strollers, and the children were well dressed. I mean, I said, my God, these people are wealthy. Now, all you see are old people. This one's 76 years old. This one's 90 years old. They're all wrinkled. They all got their head tied in, Aunt Jemima type rags. And they all women got on boots, and men got on big old coats and walking with canes. Wait a minute now. Are we looking at two Ukraines? I'm trying to figure out what's going on, especially looking at the left. If you're watching left media, CNN and MSNBC crowd. I think they're selectively picking some of the old people, women that are overweight. Wrinkles said the woman is 76, got wrinkles all on her face and her forehead. She got wrinkles in her lips. Doggone, she looks like she's a whole lot older than that, And some of the men ain't got no teeth in their mouth. Doggone. Are they looking for probably the most destitute looking people? They can try to make Russia look so bad? If that's what they want to do, it's called political warfare, propaganda warfare. I'm cool with that. I'm not against. I'm not for it, but I understand why they would be doing it. But then they're talking about genocide, that Russians are raping women and carrying on. Well, all soldiers, even American soldiers, have raped before. And I'm not un-American. I'm not here trying to beat down on America. They don't like America. No, I'm an American. I'm a flag waver. I'm an apple pie eater. I'm going to take me out to the ball game, American. I'm a stomp down flag waver. But, American soldiers rape people too, And Russians, they say now, are raping the Ukrainian women. I suppose that's going on. It just goes on. The Germans, rape the Jews, and Japanese rape the Chinese. The Hutus killed the Tutsis and then raped them after they killed them. They do things backward. Anyway, so I'm figured out that, something's going on with the propaganda war. So I'm just trying to pull your coat to let you know that watch what you're watching. Finally, before I close this segment out, they said that the Russian soldiers, a whole lot of Russian soldiers have been killed. I mean, if you listen to them, I get the idea that, I get the sensation maybe somewhere close to 100,000 Russian soldiers have been killed. That seems to be numerically impossible to kill 100,000 Russian soldiers. And yet I've only seen once or twice any Ukrainian with a gun and a tank. Now, I think it's very smart on Zelensky's part to not talk about their casualties, to not show footage of their tanks or their soldiers or their fighting force. I think that's smart. I think that's great strategy. So they don't let the reporters see that. But to say 100,000, and then they go to these places where the Russian camps was, they all littered, looked like, part of the South Bronx on St. Anne's Avenue somewhere, that they were all junk left, all kinds of shoes and stuff left at camp, very undisciplined, it looks like to me. But I wonder what's happening on Russian television. Now, they call Russian television Russian propaganda television, and you can't speak out against the war. You get arrested. And, but I remember when they would arrest people speaking out against Vietnam. I'm old enough to remember marching against Vietnam. I remember people getting thrown in the... Listen, I remember, check this out. Now here, Russia, American, and the left media, CNN, all that crowd, they try to make themselves look so pure. Can I share something with you? There's a college out in Ohio. It's just one of many. We'll talk about Berkeley out in California or some of the others, called Kent State College out in Ohio. They had a protest against the Vietnam War in Kent State. And do you know the National Guard opened fire on those students in a protest march and killed 4 of them? So when you hear the left media, the liberal media, you know, MSNBC, and CNN, and all that crowd, Washington Post, New York, when you hear them talking about how state television in Russia and they're arresting people for speaking out against the war in Russia, well, what the? Americans kill people. Now, I'm not un-American. I raise my right hand. This is my right hand. I love America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her with a light through the night with a light from above. I love America, but let me tell you something. Can I talk to you about America? They shot the National Guard opened fire on students at Kent State. That's right, killed 4 of them, I remember. So that's because of Nixon and Johnson's war on Vietnam and a bunch of other social issues going on as well. Then they show you how the Russians are beating the young people in the head in the streets because of their protests against the war. Can I show you what happened in Chicago at the 1968 convention in Chicago? The Democrats held their convention in Chicago. The Chicago police beat them young people's head till they roped like okra. I'm telling you. So, I mean, we need to get the facts, right? So if you look at the left media, now if you look at the right, if you look at, you know, Fox News and all that crowd from over there, you know, they don't spend a lot of time because they don't have but they're not condemning. They're not condemning the war. They're not condemning Russia's takeover of Ukraine. And they're setting the stage to say, well, Ukraine is a breakaway nation, and Zelensky is, you know, he's got Western ideas that the Russian people are trying to protect themselves from LGBTQ and dope and black people. So they're not outright cheerleading, but Tucker Carlson is actually cheerleading. And Rupert Murdoch, that Australian guy that run around there with the koala bears down there in Australia, that guy Rupert Murdoch, he's actually letting that go. Rupert Murdoch is letting Tucker Carlson cheerlead for Russia. So you got to watch out exactly what is it that they're doing. And I think that what they're doing, they're taking their lead from Tribulation Trump. Because, you know, Tribulation Trump and Vladimir Putin are tighter than 2 peas in a pod. And so I think it's in their interest and in the interest of Trump, because Trump said that what Vladimir Putin was Ukraine was a great military move. So I just want to pull your coat to this, let you keep watching, but watch what you watch. You follow what I'm saying? Watch what you watch. And listen, really listen to what you listen to. Me, I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. Satan, we're going to tear your kingdom down. Yeah, Satan, we're going to tear your kingdom down. You've been building your kingdom all over Harlem. But Satan, we're going to tear your kingdom down. Yeah, Satan, I'm going to preach your kingdom down. Satan, I'm going to preach your kingdom down. You've been building your kingdom all over Harlem. But Satan, I'm going to preach your kingdom down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Satan, I'm going to pray your kingdom down. Satan, I'm going to pray your kingdom down. You've been building your filthy kingdom all over this world. But Satan, I'm going to pray your kingdom down. Put that in your book, Satan. I'm coming for you, homie. I'm coming for you. Oh, no. That's what God said. That's what God said. That's what God said.